Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do this quick video on basic sanitation practices. You're dealing with people's skin. One thing you definitely don't want is for them to have a reaction or to use dirty products or to use products you use on somebody else on their skin. You want to be as sanitary as possible. And I just wanted to list a couple of things that you can do in the meantime, so let's get started. So there's a couple of things on this counter. I'm going to go through each of them individually and then just give you quick tips on how I use them and for what purposes, etc., etc. So let's get started on that. So the first thing that I want to talk about is using expiration dates and stickers in order to ensure that you are not using expired products, especially when it comes to liquids and creams. So as you can see, this is an example right here. When I purchase things, the minute that I open it, I put the date, the month and the year that I either got the product or that I opened the product, okay? Because usually you will get some type of information on the product itself. Most products do come with it. It'll say like 6M or it'll say 24 or whatever the amount is. That is usually the how long you should keep that product. This is very essential, especially with mascara, eyeliners, and stuff like that. Anything that's cream, any creamy kind of product. Okay, so the next item that I'm showing you here is 70% isopropyl alcohol. Now, they do have 90% alcohol, but that is less effective than this. 90% evaporates a lot quicker, so therefore we don't use 90%, even though it's a higher percentage of alcohol. 70% is just the right and highest amount. So this is what I do have. I buy a big bottle of it, and I basically put it in a smaller bottle. This is a smaller bottle that I use right here, and I've just put a label on it that says alcohol. As you can see, this is quite old. I have used and abused this as much as I can. Okay, so these are some other tools that I use. This is obviously a, what do they call these things? God damn it, I forgot the name. But you know what this is. This is something that we use to put any cream, foundation, cream products, concealers, whatever it may be on here. And basically, we utilize a spatula in order to take product out instead of our fingers or using a brush, because you don't want to be double dipping. Originally, I was using the Beauty Blender Solid Pro in order to wash my brushes and my beauty blenders, and it works pretty good, and I felt like a bar soap was better than a liquid because I felt like I wasted a lot of product when I use liquid. So I started using this. This is what I was buying. Now, however, and I do use this still because I needed to house my soap, I watched a video from one of my favorite makeup artists, Kiki Adams, and she used Dial soap and Dial antibacterial soap to clean her brushes. Excuse the way mine look, it looks crazy. So I basically put mine in here, and this is how I clean my brushes and my beauty blenders. The only thing I would say is the Dial is very cleaning. Like, my brushes come out super clean, and I'll show you an example of one. So as you can see, the brushes are clean, honey. Clean, 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 clean. So the Dial soap gets it very clean, and I'll show you what they look like before. Generally, this is what my brushes look like before this and more. And that's how they end up looking after I clean them with the Dial soap. The only thing with the Dial soap is that it is very cleaning. So your brushes kind of come off not as soft at the end. They kind of look a little frayed, so you have to be very careful. So I did do some research, and I heard of another product called Natural Brush Shampoo that has oils in it that condition the bristles. It's very effective from what I'm hearing for cleaning, and also for keeping your brushes moisturized and not so dry once they're finished, because this soap is kind of harsh. I am going to try it for the first time. I will link the name of the product down below so that you can check it out for yourself. So that's a great alternative to getting an effective clean alongside using, a bar soap. There's also something else you can do. You can soak your bristles in tea tree oil and baking soda if you're gonna still use your own product or any other product besides, you know, that natural brush shampoo. So that's another option. So now we're gonna go on to one of my favorite brush cleaners. I always buy the big size, and I pretty much end up pouring it into a smaller version of a bottle. I use this small bottle because I used to travel. I don't travel anymore, but I used to travel, and so it was easier for me to just have the product. It's very effective. You don't need that much of it. So I put it in here. But this is it right here, Cinema Secrets Makeup Brush Cleaner, as I'm pretty sure some of you might have already heard about. So I put it in the smaller bottle. Just another tip too, when I usually finish cleaning my brushes, there is times when you might have missed a part of the brush, like in the middle for some reason, and I've seen it with other makeup artist brushes. The middle part for some reason is not 100% clean. What I usually do after cleaning my brushes is I spray the brush with this and get rid of that. This completely removes it. The proper way to use this is you're supposed to pour it into something like a little container and dip the brush in it and then proceed to clean the brush off on a paper towel. But I kind of like to spray the brush and clean it off on a paper towel if the brush is not completely dirty or really full of product. Also, I like to completely clean my brushes after use. So I generally tend to not reuse brushes when doing clients, which is why I work from home. And the reason why I also do it by appointment only, so I can be prepared to know how many clients I'm doing that day. Also, if I know there's a brush that I particularly use a lot, I try to get multiples of that brush because I like to do a full cleaning of each brush after I use them, which is, I think, also helps with keeping them clean when, well, I think it helps with the brush getting clean easier when you do it that way as well. So this is one of my favorite brush cleaners, instant spray, is the Cinema Secrets. So we're gonna discuss disposables. I'm not really a big disposable person, but I do use mascara wands. I usually put them inside of here. I order mine from Amazon. I put them in a baggie and I take them out. The reason, you know, using mascara wands is definitely more sanitary. But my issue is I try to get mascara wands, brushes that are, you know, have a good shape. So this is curved and not the straight one, because most of the time when someone is selling their mascara products, they're selling the formula, of course, but I kind of feel like the brush makes a very big difference. So when you're using these brushes, you just have to do the best you can, because they're not gonna be exactly like the brush of, like, for example, an actual mascara. So if you notice, look at the brush. The brush makes a difference with how the product also applies, but you can't obviously use this directly on a client. So what I do, here's a tip, is I take a paper towel, fold it in two, and I make sure you go side to side. Don't ever pump. Side to side with the mascara wand. I take out as much product as I can and I press it into the paper towel. Once I press it into the paper towel, I then use one of these mascara wands to pick it up from the paper towel to apply it to the customer. So I don't dip this in here. I take this out of here and put it on a paper towel, as much product as possible, dip this in, and proceed to put it on the customer. So that's a little tip for you guys. And if you have to get more, you take some more out and put it on another section of the paper towel and repeat the process. For the most part, like I said, I try not to use disposables if I don't have to. So when it comes to lip brushes, I like to actually use a lip brush, because I kind of feel like I get a better result when I'm using a lip brush on the lip instead of buying lip ones. They're kind of not quite, I don't know, I'm just a fan of using lip brushes. That's just my preference. So this is also another thing. These are things that if you know you're going to be using these things a lot, buy multiples of it, so that way you don't have to worry about trying to clean it real quick, or, you know, because I like to, like I said, I like to fully clean my brushes after each person. Okay, so now we're going to talk about powders. So the reason I'm showing this particular palette, well, there's no reason for this particular palette, but I kind of wanted to show you this palette. Powders don't harbor bacteria, and they also have the longest shelf life of all cosmetic products. So something that you can do is take your trusty alcohol and 70% alcohol, and remove a top layer of your palette, powder palette. So you can use this and you spray the top basically. You can either spray it, you can let it air dry a little bit, or you can spray it and then take a paper towel or a tissue and gently rub the top with the tissue. Okay, I know some artists, like, they scrape out the eyeshadows. I don't have time for that. I'm gonna be very honest with you, I don't. So I rather just spray down my palette before use, or gently clean the top of it after or before use, either one. But simple solution. Powders, like I said, they're not something that harbor bacteria quickly, and they have the longest shelf life. So, you know, you wanna make sure that you still wanna sanitize, but you don't gotta go all in depth like your creams and your liquids. Okay, so another important thing is having a hand sanitizer on hand. I have this big size, and I just put it on my station. It's usually over here in the corner. You want your client to be able to see this, and every person that I do, as soon as they sit down, I say, 1 second, let me wash my hands. They literally see me go and then wash my hands. I come back, dry my hands, apply some hand sanitizer, and then I proceed to start, you know, the service, the makeup service. So this is very important. Washing your hands is extremely important. After each person, wash your damn hands, okay? Also, another thing when you're cleaning your brushes, so as you can see, none of my tips are in any kind of organizational way. I'm just random with it. Is your handles, you can use the alcohol to clean those off when you're finished as well, because remember, when you're using products, your hands can get a little dirty with clients and you're touching these handles. So if you're only focused on cleaning the bristles, you're forgetting about this. This could still be dirty and harbor any type of bacteria or anything, then you're going to take your hand and touch the client's face. So make sure you clean your brush handles with alcohol after you have washed them. So there's one more thing I forgot to mention. So your station, mine's look a little crazy right now because I took all these things out, so that way I can show you guys my little items. But this is my station. Oh shit, my bad. So I like the white. You know why? Because white shows dirt, and when you see dirt, you need to keep it clean. So your best friend right here, Mr. Paper Towel. Okay. So every time I have a client, I prepare my station. My desk is completely covered with the paper towel, and I use the paper towel as a form of sanitation as well. And also, you want your client to come in and see a clean area. You don't want them to come in and see dirty brushes, a dirty desk area. It's like, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I guess I should make this person put makeup on my face, on my skin. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that your desk, your area that you are working out of, is nice and clean for the client. Excuse those dirty brushes. I am gonna clean them, but you want to make sure that it is nice and clean for your client. Use your paper towels. Yes, you can also use like a dark black cloth, but I still like to put my paper towel over on top of that as well. But anyways, another thing is, here's a eye powder blush. I was about to say an eye powder brush. When you are using this, obviously, to dip into your lovely eyeshadow palette, and you dip it in, you know, you have a little excess product, your best thing is to knock it off or tap it off, but do not blow it off with your mouth. Blowing, we do not know what you are blowing into that brush, and that is not sanitary. Okay, if it's your own personal products, great, do whatever you would like, but at the same time, just knock it off or tap it off on something. It's going to give you the same result as not having as much product on the brush without having to possibly contaminate your brush, and then next thing you know, you're gonna have like possibly some problems excuse me, possibly some problems for you or your client. Okay, all right, so I think that is all my little quick tips that I have. I did have some other stuff over here. These are some other products that I have. I tend to use this if the client is tearing up or I need to clean something around their eye. I also do have the Alcone sponges. I like to use these to put on primers and moisturizer, or even the beauty blender. These are also great. So that's all my quick tips, basic quick tips for being as sanitary as possible in between clients. If you guys have any extra tips that you do, you want to mention them down below, that would be great. And if you haven't done so already, you can subscribe to my channel. I'm a little slow with videos, but you know, I definitely get to them as soon as I can when I have the time. But I want to definitely come back with another video on some other tips and stuff for my beginner makeup artists, or for my, you know, people who, you know, are interested in makeup and you just want to know the basics. You don't want to go all like going from 0 to 100 in like 1 second. So we take it a little step by step. So these are my tips. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You could also follow me on Instagram at pretty stushy, and you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.